Let's do a witchy holiday haul. I was on live last night talking about some of the metaphysical witchy items I got for the holidays, and I figured I'd show you the entire haul. I'm going to organize this by books, altar, practice supplies, and then things that don't seem witchy but are. So let's get started. Okay, I have a fat stack of books. Firstly, the witchy themed fiction books. I got Curious Tides, and I love a good sprayed edge. I'm really happy to have such a beautiful edition. This book has magic schools, lunar magic, and apparently some political intrigue right up my alley. Then we have Wayward, which probably everyone and their mother has read. This has themes of witch hunts, having to hide your magic. Again, very in my wheelhouse. Lastly, Evocation by S.T. Gibson. And look at this cover. And even more importantly, look at the book. Of course, I was attracted to the themes of tarot, but this book's about a psychic prodigy who had an oppressive occultist father, and that's all I had to read to ask for it for Christmas. So that was my witchy fiction haul. In nonfiction, let's start out strong with Llewellyn's complete book of ceremonial magic. I've been practicing ceremonial magic for a long time, but I'm still really happy to have this particular book. In fact, some of my favorite mentors have written chapters in this book, and it's so full of information and symbolism. Oh wait, sorry, that figure really caught my eye. If you're interested in ceremonial magic or Western esotericism and have no idea where to start, this is a good place too. Even I, who have practiced for years, am finding a lot of helpful distilled information here. So this one's great. I also got the Book of English Magic. And the back notes say, learn the Druid tree alphabet, how to plot a ley line, how to perform a spell with candle magic, make an herbal remedy, and learn about alchemy. Sometimes I pick a book that I want just by the way it feels, and this book feels incredible. It has beautiful illustrations. It has a lot of information in it, and I have nothing like it in my collection, so I needed to have it. The Book of English Magic. Did a blind date with a book from Artemisia Botanicals, and I got Modern Witchcraft Book of Tarot, Your Complete Guide to Understanding the Tarot by Skye Alexander. I know that there's a full complete set of different books in this collection, and so I'm happy to have the tarot one. It goes through each card, what it means upright, reversed, a lot of really good information and historical information, which I love. I don't usually buy books on tarot, so I'm happy that this found its way to me because clearly I've got a lot to learn. I posted this before. It was actually my first holiday present of the year, and it was Llewellyn's Magical Almanac. I love this thing. It not only has a total overview of what's happening astrologically in 2025, but it has a daily calendar that has information on a bunch of different correspondences. And I really like it because every year they have different articles from different practitioners. And so I actually learn new spells and techniques, even new pulls for tarot. So I get this every year, and I incorporate all the information here into my daily planner. I love keeping them because they're little snapshots of what the year was like magically. So this is a necessity for me. And then lastly, I got The Women Who Run with Wolves. I read this, oh my God, maybe almost 20 years ago when I was in my women's study coursework at college. When was this published? Yeah, that checks out. But I don't remember anything about it. I actually am thinking about doing a book club on Patreon with this book because I think it's unbelievably magical and important for us to understand that we are wild women and how to unlock that wildness to reach our absolute full potential. So I'm very happy to have this. If you're interested in doing a book club, very low pressure, chapter by chapter with me on Patreon, let me know because we can totally do that. Okay, that's it for books. I got 2 beautiful decks. The first was from my sister-in-law. It's the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Guide and Deck. It was written and illustrated by Kim Kranz. Look at the cover of this. I've seen mini versions of this deck. I have never seen a large one. And this thing is phenomenal. May you always be on the inner quest. Beautiful. I love when the guidebook is hardcover. It just feels super substantial. Anything with elements, you know me, I'm gonna love. When we talk about having some anxiety about using tarot and wanting to dip our toes into oracle decks, this deck is just so profoundly beautiful and simple in a lot of ways. You have the elemental information on top. You have the image of the animal, name of the animal, and then very little information. So if you wanted to pull these cards and use what your intuition tells you about that animal to get your answer, you can. As I continue to heavily use oracle decks, this one is extra special. Plus, when it's a gift from someone you love, it just makes you feel really known. All right, the second deck. This is the Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck by Lily Ashwell, and this one is phenomenal. It's not only stunningly beautiful, I mean, shut the fuck up, right? The guidebook is huge, hardcover, which I obviously love. All the information you need. This is an oracle deck that also works as a study tool. I obviously already opened it, but this was the tape with all of the symbols for the heavenly bodies. It has the sun, the moon, and all the planets. And each card is colored or themed for its element: fire, earth, air, water. It also has all the houses with symbolism. So it helps you understand not only the planetary assignments, but also the house assignments. Then it has astrological events like conjunction, opposition, trine, square, fixed, mutable, cardinal, north and south node. So the way that I plan on using this deck is laying out what's happening astrologically in a visual way, having it also do a layout of your own chart. Like, also, you could just pull it like a normal oracle deck. I saw this, I'd never seen it before up until a couple weeks ago, and I knew I had to have it. And I just think it's a beautiful and very, very unique addition to my deck collection. Totally not witchy, but I did get this little water bottle. I've never been influenced by anything that bad on TikTok before. It does remind me of a little cauldron, so maybe it does fit. Okay, let's get into the altar and witchcraft supply haul. Wait, I forgot to include this. It's kind of like a deck. I have the original angel cards. I had these when I was a little girl in my house with a spiritual mentor of mine, and every time I would go to her house to work with her, she would have me pick one of these. And I kind of thought they were made up. I don't know, like maybe it was something that was made forever ago in the 80s and ever again, but I saw these and it really elicited something in me and I needed to get it. And so these I bought, and now we're using them in my family. So that is the last like card type thing for real. Moving on. Okay, there's a lot of shit here. First, I got another candle, and I will be using this during the billionaire binding spell. You can use one too if you have it, or just a black candle. But I knew I needed it. Honestly, he smells amazing. He's gonna burn. Quite a few candles, including a full set. Hold these in one hand, probably not. Of light. I know they're pretty easy to find in white. I got a full set, including this gorgeous cerulean, and I have a lot of plans for these. I still put herbs and oil on top of these. I treat them exactly the same as chimes, but they just burn easier for me. I'll even carve them. No surprise here. If anyone's looking for a present for me that's witchy and easy and inexpensive, it's Florida water soap. I use this every time I shower. I really feel like it gets the malocchio off me and helps me feel very clean spiritually and physically and refreshed. I got some new incense, dragon's blood and frankincense. I'm always using these. And then I got some pillar candles that are quite large. I needed some really large white and black pillar candles, and they're kind of hard to find and also expensive. And so I got these. They have a little extra fun stuff that I get to keep. These are an essential part of my ceremonial magic practice, and I'm really happy to have such beautiful ones that hopefully are better quality than what I find at the grocery store. But we'll see. I lied. There's one more deck. My local metaphysical store, The Enchanted Fox. I think I'm posting a new tour of their store around the same time this goes up. But the psychic who works there and teaches classes and is this like brilliant pillar of society, her name is Robin. She channeled a few messages into her own oracle card deck. And I was gifted a deck for the holidays and I was so happy to get my hands on it. So the messages are beautiful and simple, and it's designed in a way for you to just shuffle and get the message that you need when you need it. So this was really cool and special because it was a gift. The only crystal I wanted was a big, beautiful lab freeform. And this one, if you can see, is very fucking shiny. I'm always on the lookout because I have a bunch of labradorite pieces, but I wanted a freeform that would just kind of stare at me as I did work. And this one clearly fits the bill. Okay, on to random witchy shit. So as I've talked about before, I grew up in a very esoterically minded family that was extremely spiritual. My family was rooted in Catholic mysticism, but my dad still traveled all over the world exploring different types of spiritual expression. This is a singing bowl that has been in my family since I was born. And when I recently visited my parents, I was admiring all of their crystal singing bowls because they're obviously fucking beautiful. And this one was in the corner looking very sad and neglected. And they noticed and sent it to me as a surprise for Christmas. So I'm very happy to have her. She clearly has a beautiful sound even after all these years. So this is something precious to me that I grew up coveting, and I'm happy that it's mine. When I did that blind date with a book, I also got a bunch of witchy accessories. This beautiful stamp that I'm going to try to figure out how to use in some of the Olive and Apotheca packaging. This herb spoon, I've always wanted one. It's so precious. Look at the detail. Artemisia, you slay. A tea mix. I know the window's super bright. Oh, and a sticker, resting witch face. That is excellent. I also got this bookmark from them. It's an oracle deck bookmark. That's actually a genius idea. Okay, last couple stuff. I got this bagoo. It's very witchy themed. It has snakes and stars and moons and pieces of astrology. I love pretty much anything reusable, but this one, you know, really sick. Second to last, I got a new perfume. Now you may be thinking, Jenna, that's not very witchy. However, if you knew what perfume this was, it would make a lot of sense for me in context. This is Santal 33 from Le Labo. Santal 33 smells like cedarwood and sandalwood, or santal, and has a bunch of other scents that are very evocative of my own personal practice. These are ingredients that I use in my spell bottles, in my personal spell work, and then I always enchant my new perfumes for a specific purpose. And the purpose of this one is to fuel and encourage and sustain my own pursuit of authenticity, to live entirely for myself, and to feel like every decision I make is in line with my higher good. This makes me feel safe, it makes me feel extra magical, and that is why this was one of my favorite gifts for Christmas. Okay, lastly, it's not gonna seem witchy at first, but I got a new digital grimoire. Okay, let's talk about it. After years of using a physical grimoire, about a year ago, I switched to a digital one. It's where I kept all my recipes, my spells. It's where I had all my spell books, my research material, my study material, my journal. Everything was in this one place and I loved it. And then about 6 months ago, I switched back to a physical grimoire and fell in love with having a notebook and pages with me again. However, it's been hard to carry that around with me, and I have a lot of anxiety about not having any of that information backed up. And it was extra work for me to have to manually back it up, so I could have gone back to this size, but it was just a little too small for what I needed. And then Supernote came out with the A5 size. So this is the Manta. It's their brand new ink. It is so razor thin. Now I have all my spell books, my recipes, my journal, my geomancy readouts, Everything I could ever need is here again. And although I still love my physical grimoire, I have to tell you, having all of this information at my fingertips and having it back upable is such a slay for me. So although it may not seem witchy, this is a new grimoire. You'll be seeing it a lot, I'm sure. Okay, so that's all the witchy stuff I got during the holiday season. I also got stuff that wasn't witchy, so if you're interested in seeing the kind of things that I buy, my makeup I'm interested, the kind of bags I love, just let me know. You only have to ask me once to make content. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about any of the things I showed, like where it was purchased from, where you can purchase it from, please let me know. The book should be linked anyways. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing new year. And thank you so much for watching.